Vedanta. Or the ant means it's at the highest point or at the finishing point, the end point. And Ojapa is a name of the Supreme Divinity, and the name means unborn, it means the leader, it means existing from eternity, as well as Ojapa, meaning continuous recitation without count of how many recitations we do. So when we do japa, say a mantra, japa. And when the mantra just keeps going on and we don't have to count, that's all japa. So pantam means to drink, or it means to draw within or to absorb. And this verse has so many levels of meaning. We've been discussing the Butch art and the Bab art, the Guru art, and the Darshan Shastra art, the Sampradaya art, the Swadhyaya art, the Bhava art, and the Gupta art. The 7 levels of meaning, Guru, Guva, Swa, Mahajana, Satyam. We can apply those levels of meaning to every syllable in this sutra and come up with a different interpretation and a different application according to where we are in our lives. What's going on in your life? That's why the Vedas are anant, Hori anant, Horikotha anant. They're infinite. They're going on all the time because it applies to today's circumstance right now. Oh, it has so many levels of meaning. Every syllable has a number of meanings, and the interpretation of the grammatical construction depends upon an individual's progress in his or her own spiritual discipline. Nirupanam means to investigate, to examine, or search for. It also means to perceive or to search for the tattva, the principle which is beyond qualities, or that which has the quality of water. Near means without, and near means water, pani, yo, agua. Near means without, and near means water. Guna means quality. Nirgun means that which has the quality of water, or that which is without any quality at all. And let's examine the qualities of water. Oh, look here. Look at the quality of water. It always seeks its own level. It's always in balance. It's always perfectly flat. It's always level. It always assumes the shape of its container. If you put it in a square container, it becomes square. If you put it in a round container, it becomes round. If you put it in a cup, it becomes cup-like. It takes the shape. It has no form of its own. It takes the shape of every shape. And the water is extremely adaptable. It's always in balance. It's always in harmony. Water is the Lord of equilibrium. He is always in balance. He's always still. He's always in the perfection of equilibrium. Oh, he's the Lord of equilibrium. Always in balance. He has his ups and downs, but he is never out of balance. The search is for the principle or tattva, which is of the quality of perfect equilibrium or balance, and the beyond all qualities. Ajapantam. Aja means unborn. And means to become absorbed in the unborn. So searching for the principle becomes absorbed in the eternal, unborn, manifest. And this is one way to understand the meaning of this verse. Searching for that principle which is eternal, we become in perfect balance. Searching for the perfect balance, we find the ultimate. We become absorbed in the unity of the oneness, which is eternal. Ma says that water always has the quality of going forward and never goes backwards. The water is always moving towards the sea, and it won't stop until it gets there. When it merges with the sea, it loses its own individual identity, just like the soul is moving towards the Paramatma. Atma is moving towards unity with Paramatma. And when it becomes one with the universal soul of all. A verse from the Tantra Sar says, the soul within thee is a river. Its sacred bathing place is contemplation. Its banks are holiness. Its waters are truth. Its waves are love. Go to that river for your bath. Your soul will not be made pure by bathing in water alone. Take a bath in the river of your soul. Take the bath from the banks of contemplation, of dhyan. Take the bath of becoming absorbed in the purity and the unity. The search for the principle beyond qualities yields the fruit of absorption in the eternal. Japa is the conscious and constant repetition of a mantra. We perform japa until the mantra becomes such a part of our lives that the mantra continues automatically by itself. It continues without our practical awareness, without our forcing the japa to be a part of us. When the mantra continues like a tape recorder in the background as a natural part of our lives, the japa becomes a japa japa. It's just going on all the time. The purpose of the japa is to cultivate the habit of listening to the mantra until we become absorbed in the mantra like Srima. Srima is always in the mantra. Swami says to Ma, you are always in the mantra. I didn't stop saying that for the last 40 years since we wrote this book. You are always in the mantra. You never listen to what I have to say. Yeah, I don't blame you, but for you, the mantra is continuing always. It's all japa japa. Consciously, we are making an effort to remain aware of japa by counting how many times we say the mantra, by moving our beads to keep the count, and by making a religious practice of cultivating the habit of listening to the mantra. After some time, the mantra will remain with us. Then it is called a japa japa. When the mantra is making japa of us instead of our making japa of the mantra. As when you listen to a tape recording of a mantra, and the mantra is just there, even though we may be aware of other things. The mantra is there like a stage or a screen of consciousness upon which all of this material world is reflected. The mantra is the sound upon which all the other sounds are heard. This is an example of japa japa, the stage of consciousness embodied in sound. Ant means the ultimate, the end, the perfection. Ajapantam means the ultimate or the end of, the perfection of, or japa. Mother says we should make japa a mantra, which means without count. The recitation of the mantra without recitation. The eternal, infinite or japa, which is the sound of God. Is the perception of the tattva, the principle beyond all qualities, of the quality of water in perfect equilibrium. That is the ultimate absorption in mantra when one is without even the consciousness of I am performing japa. Rather, japa is performing itself. Or japa is the reality, and my individual perceptions and conceptions are placed over the reality, which is ajapa, and it is continuing of its own accord. All of my thoughts and aspirations are merely projected upon this ajapa, this mantra which is being recited by the divine. The ultimate perfection of ajapa is the perception of the principle beyond qualities. The ultimate perception of that which is beyond qualities is the perfection of the sound of God without any individual qualification of that sound. We call that sound of God Shabda Brahman, which is the sound of Om, the infinite beyond conception. That is the sound spoken by divinity, heard by divinity. From Shabda Brahman comes forth Bindu. Bindu is Hiranyagarbha, the golden womb. The golden womb, the first seed of existence. In the middle of every yantra, you will find the bindu. And the bindu is the first spark of creation. The first sound is in manifested existence is bindu. The bij of bindu is Hrim, the totality of Maya. Om Hrim. From the infinite beyond conception, we come to the bindu, and then to Hrim. Ha is the gross body which can be perceived through the senses. Ra is the subtle body which can be conceived in the mind. E is the causal body which can be known through intuition, through meditation, through feelings. And Anuswar, the sound of an atom. Please stop what you're doing right now and listen to the sound of an atom. All that can be perceived through the senses, conceived in the mind, known through intuition, through meditation, through feeling, and beyond, is the perfection of Hrim, the embodiment, the totality of Maya. From Bindu springs forth Nad. Nad is the subtle body of sound, which is the sound which we hear inside, the subtle sound of God. From Nad comes Bij. Every object and relationship in existence, the samsara, the Sara of Sam, the ocean of all. Samsara, the ocean of all. Every object, every relationship, every other object has a relationship to every other object. This samsara, the ocean of all, disseminates a vibration. Every object is comprised of atoms, molecules, protons, neutrons, electrons, quarks. They're all rotating and revolving around the nucleus, the center of the atom. And every movement creates friction, and every friction creates a vibration, and every vibration produces a sound. And that sound is called its beej. These are all in constant movement. All movement creates friction. Friction creates vibration. All vibration produces sound, whether audible to the external ear or not. All sound is expressible by a letter. Kshara means that which is finite, which will not last, which is transient, which is temporary. And all means that which is not kshara, which is infinite, which is unlimited. Akshar means the qualified has become infinite, and that is the Sanskrit name for letter, the akshars. The unqualified infinite. The akshars come together to form bejas, which are the closest approximations to the natural vibrations which can be expressed with what the vibrations are saying themselves as the sounds evolve from the movement inherent in all existence. Bejas are the natural names, or the closest approximation of the natural names of the various sounds which can be heard, spoken, or written. The closest approximation to the names of objects and relationships in this creation are bejas. Bejas are put together to make shabda, which is the audible sound. Shabda has two forms. The Vedic, which are words of wisdom, words of communion, words which inspire us, and Bhautika, words which take us into the world of objects and relationships. The path of sound is extremely subtle. The path of sound is extremely subtle, and when we enter into Shabda, the first step of sadhana is to control the amount of Bhautika Sabda, otherworldly speech, which comes into our processing center, as well as how much worldly speech comes out. We want to control Bhautika Shabda, the first step of sadhana. Stop gossiping about the world. Stop talking about things outside and start talking about Vedic Sabda, the wisdom that brings us inside. The first step of sadhana is control the amount of Bhautika Sabda, which comes into our processing center, as well as how much worldly speech comes out. By controlling our worldly speech, we can direct our awareness towards words of wisdom, Vedic Sabda. By following the words of wisdom, we come to an understanding of Bij, the natural names for the natural vibrations expressible through the letters or akshars. And through the Bijas, we can enter into Nad, which is the subtle body of sound. From Nad, we move into the Bindu, which is one-pointed awareness. From Bindu, we move into Shabda Brahman. And this is the sound of God. This is the Ojapa Ananth that Ma so beautifully describes. Nirguna Tattva Nirupanam. The principle beyond the qualities, the perception of the principle beyond qualities. Through the control of sound, we move into absorption in the ultimate. Nad is the sound that you hear inside. Swami chants Om. Om.
I think you can listen much better now, these efforts.
Brahmor. That's the Brahmor Asan, where we close the 9 gates to the city of God. There are 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we close these 9 gates to the city of God and say, did you hear that with your ear?
Mhm.
You heard that sound in your ears, and it came inside and it vibrated inside. Now, close your eyes and close your senses and hear the same sound. Did you hear it? Did you hear it inside? That is Nad. The subtle sound inside. You heard it outside through the ears. And now you heard the gross body of sound is called Sabda. And that which is heard from the ear. And the subtle body of sound is called Nad. And that which is heard inside. Did you hear someone say something to you in a dream? Did your mind ever hear a voice talking to you? That is Nad, the subtle body of sound. Some subtle forms are the forms of the gross Bhautika Sabda, the worldly words that have already come in. And some Nad are the forms of bijas, the natural names which have come from within by control sounds which come in, we can direct attention to the bijas. The qualities have bijas as well. M is Gyan bija, the vibration of wisdom. Saraswati's bija. She inspires us with knowledge. It is the Guru bija. Hrim is the bija of Maya, the totality of existence. All that can be perceived through the senses, conceived in the mind, known through intuition. Is the dissolution of the gross body into the causal body, that which makes a resolution, a surrendering, and a transformation towards perfection. These are the bijas of Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, and Mahasaraswati. Aim, Kleem. Aim, Kleem are bijas which indicate the transformation of all that is on every level. They can be known through Nad, because through Nad, one can follow them into the Bindu. And when the Bindu is entered, you can become one with Shabda Brahman. In the study of Vedic Sanskrit, we move from words of wisdom to an intuitive understanding of the bijas, which are the natural names of the vibrations we want to cultivate within ourselves and within this world. This is the path of Nad Yoga. There are many different ways of approaching divinity. We have already studied the Panchkosha, the Manomaya Kosha. The Annamaya Kosh, the world of sensory perception. The Pranamaya Kosh, as subtle as breath. The Manomaya Kosh, even more subtle still, is your thought. The Jnanamaya Kosh, the light of wisdom, is illuminating all of those thoughts. Anandamaya Kosh, Shat Chit Ananda. This is the same journey which we just took through the use of sound by taking the worldly sounds and dissolving them into the sounds of wisdom. And from the sounds of wisdom to their highest meanings as bejas. We take the natural names of all existence and put them into the subtle body of sound, the nod. And then we move into the one-pointed light, the one point of sound, the bindu. And ultimately we become absorbed in Shabda Brahman, the Anandamaya Kosh. Anandamaya Kosh is Shabda Brahman, which only divine silence can perceive. In Anandamaya Kosh, Purush and Prakriti are one. They are not divisible. From Shabda Brahman comes the Bindu. Bindu is the first step of Prakriti away from Purush. That step is called the Vijnanamaya Kosh, the light of wisdom, the first spark of creation. In Tantra philosophy, there are 36 principles. They begin with Sada, Shiva, and Shakti. These are two separate principles, but they are united as one. Sada Shiva is pure consciousness, while Shakti is pure energy. Together, Ishwar is the principle of union between Shiva and Shakti, often referred to as Ardhanarishwar, the both male and female. And then comes Shuddha Vidya. Shuddha Vidya, pure knowledge. You have seen the picture of Shiva with his eyes barely opening. The light of wisdom, that first spark of creation. Ardhana, pure knowledge. Shiva, with his eyes just barely starting to open, when Shiva says, I had a feeling that there is something else out there other than me. Maya is the next principle. She is different from me. I am Shiva, and there she is, Shakti. And there she is, the measurement of consciousness, or the measurement, the limitation of consciousness, the Divine Mother. Maya is perceived through Panchkanchuk, limitations or modes of perception. They are Kal, that's time, Niyati, space, Rag, activity or being or becoming, Vidya, knowledge of name or form, Nam and Rup, and Kala, attribute. These Panchkanchuka, the 5 Kanchukas, make 10 principles in descending order. And then comes Purush, the individual soul or consciousness, and Prakriti, the embodiment of nature. That is Sadashiva and Shakti, Ishwar, Shuddha Vidya, Maya, and 5 Kanchukas. These are the modes of perception. They are the ways that we perceive in time, space, knowledge, attribute, and activity. That's 10. Then comes, this is Prakriti, the embodiment of nature. It is perceived by Purush, the consciousness in the individual. Now comes the Antakaran. Ahamkar is the ego, the sense of I. I am different. I am separate. Chitta is the totality of all cognition comprised of buddhi and man. Buddhi means objective knowledge, what is. In other words, all the nouns and verbs of experience. Man, on the other hand, is subjective knowledge, or what we think about things. Man comprises all the adjectives and adverbs. Buddha says this is a book. One says this is a good book. The good is the interpretation, the opinion of one. Both together are chitta. Objective experience, subjective experience, all experience. Mon, buddhi, chitta. Perceived by ahamkar, cogito, ergo sum, as Descartes said, I think, therefore I am. Both together are chitta, objective and subjective experience, the world as it is and the world as we think it to be, our relationship to it. These four together, ahamkar, chitta, buddhi, and man, are called the antakaran, the inner cause or inner sense. And then there are 20 principles which define the gross world and our relationship to it. 5 of these principles are called tanmatras, which are the objects of perception: sight, sound, smell, taste, and feel. 5 are called mahabhutas, which are the essential elements of existence: water, fire, air, ether. Then there are 5 organs of knowledge: the eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, and the skin. And these are gyanendriyas, the senses through which we perceive the outside. And then there are 5 organs of action called karmendriyas, the organs through which we act and interact with the world, with the outside world. The upper appendages, the lower appendages, the tongue, reproductive organs, and anus. These principles disclose how divinity descended into manifested existence.
তোমার এই ভার্সের মধ্যে আমার একটা গান মনে পড়লো।
Please,
আই মন বেড়াতে যাবি।
please, you sing it for us.
আই মন বেড়াতে যাবি, আই মন বেড়াতে যাবি, তারি কল্প তরু মূলে চারি ফল কুড়ায় পাবি, তারি কল্প তরু মূলে চারি ফল কুড়ায় পাবি, আয় মন বেড়াতে যাবি।
Hey, mind, you want to go on tour?
Yeah.
Hey.
Tali kalpataru.
To the feet of Kali. She is the grantor of all the fruits of all desire.
Chuchi chuchi re ghare.
Purity and impurity are the 2 lives of consciousness.
Diva ghare kabe chubi.
When will they stay together? When the 2 lives will come into harmony?
যখন দুই সপিনে পীড়িত হবে,
when the 2 lives will hug each other and love each other,
তখন দুই
Then you'll get the darshan of the dark lady. That is the darshan of Kali. There is no purity, there is no impurity. We are one in the bindu.
That your subject, the song, mind me.
This song reminds Mother of these qualities. We have taken our subjective thoughts, and we've reduced the mon and the buddhi and the chitta, and we've controlled all the ahamkar.
Yeah.
And then the two wives, purity and impurity, no longer are in conflict. The two wives hug each other, and then we get the darshan of Kali.
Satchitananda.
Sat, Chit, Ananda. These principles disclose how divinity descended into manifested existence. Now, in order to go back to the origin, we must come and go by the same path. We begin by controlling organs of action. Upper appendages, lower appendages, the reproductive and organ and anus, punch, karmendriyas. We control them, they hold them still. We begin by controlling the action. They are the ones that interact with the outside world. We put our body into such a harmony so as to control the organs of knowledge, the gyanendriyas, your eyes, ears, the tongue, skin, and nose. The 9 doors to the city of God, just like 2, 4, 6, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9. We close the 9 doors to the city of God, control the karmendriyas, the organs of action, and the gyanendriyas, the organs of knowledge. We recognize the 5 elements of existence. Shruti up page more boom. Earth, water, fire, and ether. And the 5 objects of perception in the subtle body were earth, water, fire, air, ether, sight, sound, smell, taste, and feeling. Let your energy climb the chakras and put the 20 principles into the balance of harmony. Now put mon, buddhi, chitta into balance. Control the ego ahamkar. And this is the 24th principle. And this is the body of Prakriti. Prakriti. Before becoming this. The body of nature expressed through the individual, perceived by Purush. Pura Isha, Iti Purusha, the complete, full, perfect consciousness of infinite goodness, which is 26. This Purusha has been perceived in time, space, activity, knowledge, with attributes, Panchkanchuk. By moving beyond these modes of perception, we constitute 31 principles, move into Maya. And then we see Shiva in Shuddha Vidya, faintly aware that there is another outside. Let him close his eyes. Ishwar is next, and then Shakti and Sadashiva. These are the 36 principles which are the path to absorption in the unmanifest.
Jai Ma!
Jai Ma.
Beautiful.
Ajapantam. At the ultimate of Ajap. Nirguna Tattva Nirupanam. is the perfection, the discovery, the exploration of nirguna, the tattva, the principle of that which is beyond all attributes.
Thank you.
Om Sam Saraswati Namah.
Thank you. Very beautiful.
Namaste.
Boom, boom.
Thank you all very much for joining us. In our next session, we'll begin this discussion of Sutra number 13. And we are making step by step the journey which Kashyap Muni proposed to all the kings, and by which he defeated all the other rishis in the debates and became the Rajguru, the king of all the gurus. Namaste.
We bow to you.
We bow to you. And now we're going to perform our arti. We hope that you will do the same. We're going to call you to come here. Let Srima say to each of you, Namaste. Hello to you all.
Bye.
Let's see.
Bye.
Yes.
Everybody.
Everybody be as clear as water, maintaining the equilibrium and the balance. And now we'll follow Rima around the temple as she gets her bells and lights and everything ready for the arati. Please have a beautiful day and take our or evening, wherever you happen to be. Take our love and our blessings.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Swamiji.